Cognitive Dissonance, Incongruity, and a Bag of Donuts by Bobby Grace. I may have mentioned that I live in the jungle. It's mostly what you would expect of life in a tropical jungle, except when it's not. Like this bag of donuts. You don't expect to run into freshly baked donuts in a jungle. I've never heard of that before. And I read a lot. I'm talking kiss my ass Krispy Kreme, fresh and delicious. Baked by a catchy family. Sold warm from a basket. Bar to bar in a town up the river. By one of the family's plump daughters, possessing pretty eyes and a shy, infrequent smile. She doles out those smiles like they were rationed hardtack from a survival bag, but she always seems to save a few for me. She pulls them out from where they're hidden, somewhere down under the glazed donuts and pan dulce, and sprinkles them through our conversation like the powdered sugar on her confections. Makes the donuts sweeter, if you ask me. The smiles, I mean. I can't say for sure, but I'd like to think she shares her light with me because she enjoys the encounter as much as I do. Probably not, though. One thing you learn when you work the street is how to read the mark. I'm easy these days. Mostly because I enjoy watching the game, being a part of it again briefly, even from the other side. Cheap recreation. It ain't exactly a first world recreation, like, say, pizza in front of a big screen TV. But I don't have to talk to the pizza delivery guy about his music career or figure out how to work a remote control designed by a sadist from the Bulgarian Space Agency. I am no stranger to the skills necessary to do what these kids do. I started working for the carnival when I was 11, walking the crowd, selling what my grandfather called doodads and gewgaws. Working the crowd, attracting the curious, identifying the willing, persuading the reluctant, learning at the feet of master hucksters how to finesse the train of commerce into stopping at our young pockets. Don't get me wrong, these kids have way more skin in the game than I ever did. I was fed every night, regardless of how much money I earned that day. I was able to attend school regardless of how much money I earned that day. I slept indoors, regardless of how much money I earned that day. Surely you can see the difference. I was never hungry when I was a child. I didn't have to learn how to be hungry until I became an adult and struck out on my own. There were days when we didn't have heat in our house, but when I was 11, my whole family still slept in one room. Between the love, the blankets, body heat, and my mother's good humor, we always managed to keep the Appalachian chill at a sufficient distance. I still don't like being cold, though. That's probably one of the reasons I live in the jungle. The town where I buy my glazed, chocolate-covered, cream-filled bagfuls of incongruity is a trade town, a river distribution point for goods and supplies brought overland, and a land distribution point for the fishermen, villages, and small holders along the river. The town has a certain early 20th century bustle about it, with vegetable stands and pushcarts crowding the trucks and transports on the two-lane road that passes through it. Every fifth man is carrying a machete, every 10th or so a pistolo, everyone a knife. Deadwood City in the jungle. Hookers tease their johns into renting pleasure by the hour, beside amplified evangelistas loudly proclaiming the path to redemption, competitors in the pleasure and paradise market. Native women in bright, colorful traditional dress, carrying baskets on their heads and babies in slings, jostle with laborers carrying firewood and artisans carrying impossibly large pieces of furniture on their backs, suspended from their heads by tump lines. Barkers for buses to neighboring towns, and roving street vendors selling everything from lottery tickets and rat poison to squawking, trussed turkeys give the town a gritty carnival-like atmosphere. My favorite vendorita is Clara, a beautiful 9-year-old who has eyes that sparkle with intelligence and bright, hot curiosity. She drinks in her environment while she works the street and bars, selling a variety of fruit and foodstuffs to pay to send herself to school. Cool shit. The United States is the last country I lived in. Things were different there. I always buy whatever Clara is selling, whether I need it or not. Truth be told, I don't really need any of it. I usually end up sharing it out to folks around town. I have a gringo friend who calls this the karmic twofer. He's a man with a hard edge, a checkered past, and a heart as big as the Pacific Ocean. When we are in company, he rides me relentlessly about the folly of trying to save the world one street kid at a time. Yet I have observed this same man on more than one occasion strolling through the dirt and grit of the town, arms distributing a half-dozen bags of fried plantains or mangoes or some shit, doing the same damn thing. I don't call him on it. It's his secret to keep. Hell, he might be the hypocrite who saves the world for all I know. If it's near the end of the day, I'll buy all that Clara has left, so she can sit and chat and drink a soda with us, maybe share a plate of papas fritas. I always slide her a wee bit of cash on the side that she doesn't have to hand over when she gets home if she doesn't want to. A hand-to-hand direct deposit into the bank of Pay It Forward. I don't want to sound like a gringo Mother Teresa about any of this. I'm damn sure not. But I've discovered the great distance that exists between sitting in a cubicle, checking off a box for a tax-saving payroll deduction to UNICEF or the United Way, and touching another life in real time and real space. When you let them touch you back, when you become part of each other's story, the sterility is removed, and with it the prophylaxis of distance and ignorance. I'm pretty lucky. Not many first-world folks get to experience a thing like that. Clara is a native Czechia speaker learning Spanish in her elementary school. She takes great pride in her language skills. She vibrates with excitement when we find a common topic we can talk about for more than a few basic sentences in our newly found common language, and swells with delight when she can correct the gringo in the process. We spend time together as our situations allow. She is, after all, a working girl, and I don't get upriver more than once every week or two. Clara seems determined to teach me to count in Czechia. It beats the hell out of me why, but I've been around long enough to know it is unwise for a man to stand in the way of a determined woman, even if she is only 9 years old. As far as I can tell, most of the numbers in Czechia are modifications of the eep sound. Eep, sheep, quareep. You get the picture. So I sit under Clara's enthusiastic tutelage, madly eeping and meeping like I am auditioning for the voiceover in a Roadrunner cartoon, until she finds my pronunciation acceptable to her 9-year-old ear. When I get it right, she rewards me with a smile that shoots straight up to her eyes, and she gives me a pat on the arm, much like one would give to a severely retarded child who had just learned to tie his shoes. I've known men who've spent their whole lives searching for one god or another, lives wasted, staring beseechingly toward the heavens, never taking a moment to glance downward where the gods willingly reveal their light. A smile from a stranger, the secret largesse of hard men with good hearts, the night whisper of the river, the laughter in the eyes of a 9-year-old street girl. I have had the pleasure of sitting with many men of reason and diverse beliefs over the years, discussing their gods. Unlike most of these men, however, I can show you my gods, where they live, what they sound like, how they smell, what they look like. My gods tend to shun grand cathedrals with gilded art and large auditoriums of frenetic worshippers. I'm sure they visit those places from time to time, but they live here. I've seen them. They live right here in a dusty, hard-scrabble frontier trading town located in the middle of the jungle. And why not? What god doesn't appreciate a good donut?